Okay, good afternoon. We continue today's press conference with head coach Nick Cushing. If you have a question, please raise your hand. Juan Carlos.
Hi, coach. Thank you for the time. Just wanted to know, how the team is in terms of like morale. It's a tough result. It's another game again on the road. And how has the team trained this week? And what are you looking for against New England? Thanks.
The team is fine. The team is frustrated with the result. The team has analysed the performance. We've done many meetings, conversations individually around how we become better in a game like that, where we want to be more offensive. We want to create more. It's part of the process. We're going through a process here, and of course, I share the impatience, the same as the team. We want to win. We want to go on the road and get points, and that's the aim this week. Exactly the same. The team has trained incredibly well this week. The intensity in training again is really, really high. The hunger and the desire is there, and I've been really impressed with, although we've lost the game on the road, with the approach and the application of the team moving forward.
Caroline.
Hey Nick, good to talk as ever. How are the squad in terms of health and fitness, and how's Richie Ledesma fitted in the first few weeks?
The team is in good health. There's obviously we have certain differences within where players are within the team, just purely because we started in January with a group and we've added players along the way. Gabriel Pereira didn't join straight away because of the visa issue. Santi Rodriguez, James Sands, they came in later on from teams where they weren't playing regularly. Alfredo Morales played his first game in 7 months, first competitive game, full game in 7 months. So the team we're all in different places, but that's the nature of the start of the season. I think you can see around the league, a lot of other teams are in that same position, whether it be picked up a lot of injuries at the start or recruited along the way. So we know where we're at. We're well aware of the individualized plan that we have to gain that collective plan. The team's healthy. We have everybody training. We have everybody pushing. We've got another day's training tomorrow, and we'll continue to fight hard in the short term, but continue to develop this team across the season, knowing that it's a hard season. It's a season that has a lot of games, 3 different competitions. It's as part of the process.
Chris Campbell.
Hey, Coach, just wondering, what takeaways you had coming out of last week where the team struggled to create chances and how you look to kind of rectify that this weekend in New England.
Continue to work. We didn't create enough. We didn't attack enough space. We know clearly where we are. We know clearly how we fix it. But, naturally, we have to also be realistic that trying to gain that cohesion and those relationships, that's part of the process. I say again, Santi Gabriel didn't start pre-season in January together. They've played, Miami at home, DC at home, and then on the road at Houston. It's a process we're working at. Those 2 guys are working incredibly hard together, playing on the same side of the field, understanding each other's movements, each other's runs. Not just those, Mateus Pellegrini started on the right side. He's now working on the left side. We bring Brian Coufret in, who comes in, right before the end of preseason, right before the start of the season. They're developing that relationship, and it's that process we're going through, and we're going to continue to work. And the most pleasing part of it is watching the intensity and the desire and the enthusiasm that these guys have to work together to try and make sure that we can get into our rhythm for the full 90 minutes on the road, at home, week in, week out.
Andrew.
Hi, Coach. I wanted to ask you about Richie Ledesma, specifically what kind of attributes you think that he brings individually that kind of set him apart from the other players you already have before he joined, and kind of how you see him fitting in going forward in the weeks ahead.
Yeah, same. Another guy that didn't do preseason with us. Another guy that is here 1 day before the Houston game, so it's hard to put any expectation on a guy when you're putting him in for 20 and 15 minutes. What he will bring is real technical ability, a really good understanding of how we play our style, because he's came from a league and a team where it's very, very similar to the way that we play, very positional, very, play between the lines, create space for each other, get on the ball and go and attack the game. And I think offensively, he can bring us a lot. He's trained incredibly well this week and really impressed me. So although it's going to take him time to get into his rhythm and develop those relationships, when you are a guy of his ability, with his game understanding and potential, that's going to come quickly. So he's for sure going to improve us. And also, he's going to give us that offensive play we need.
In the room here, Christian.
Coach, you talked about the process there. How excited are you for this weekend to go against a New England team that got similar ambitions to yourself this season?
Yeah, I mean, these are the games that we need. We've been to New England through my time here as assistant coach and head coach, 3, 4, 5 times, and they're always really difficult games. A team that are really physical, a team that want to try and disturb our rhythm, whether it be with the way that they play, going long, getting the ball wide, or whether it's, being physical when we have the ball and trying to disrupt our play. So it's a challenge, but the nature of our league is every time you go on the road, it's a challenge. And I think we're probably looking more at the Houston game than we are at the New England game, in the way that we want to be better. We know New England is going to be an incredible challenge, but we know if we're better than we were in Houston, we've got a good chance of getting some points. And, there's areas of our game that we know if we improve, we become a much better football team.
Back to the Zoom, Ronnie.
Hey, Coach. Hope you're having a good week. Just wanted to ask you a little bit on some of your words that you mentioned from last week's game on the team looking to improve their decision making and being a little bit more patient recovering the ball. Just wanted to ask what your message was to the team this week, particularly in trainings. And as a second part, do you think we could see Tony Alfaro with the team and making some minutes for New England? Thank you.
The message is the way to improve the decision making is to continue to build relationships. I mean, we have some really good football players in our team. Santi Rodriguez, Gabriel Pereira, Tales Magno. Those type of guys are the guys that in the final third, their decision making is excellent. But when you're trying to develop that cohesion and those relationships, when you have change, it does take a little bit of time. And understanding players' runs, understanding how we play collectively in that final third has been a huge area this week, and an area that we will continue to work at. Tony Alfaro is training incredibly well. He's a guy that is pushing really hard to be in the team. And, the hardest part of my job when we keep the squad healthy and we get the training where it is now is selecting 11 players. And we went with James down and Alfredo in. Obviously, Maxime's back this week, so the squad is competitive. But Tony is pushing really hard to be in the team and has to continue to work, whether he's selected or not, has to continue to be, the guy with enthusiasm. That's what we demand from our team, whether you're in the team or not. Because, you've seen over those games, especially Miami and DC, that the bench made us better. The bench improved us. And I think we got a little lift from the bench in Houston. So if we bring guys in or we bring guys off the bench, they have to make us better.
Final one, Trey.
Hey, Coach, you and other members of the front office have talked about recruitment being an ongoing process. Unfortunately, there's rules that the league has in place, of course, about deadlines and things, and the transfer deadline for this window will be done in about 3 weeks. Is that enough time for you guys to maybe bring someone else in? Is that something you're considering? Just curious about your guys' thoughts now.
I think ultimately, if it's as simple as us dictating the timeline on bringing players in, it's plenty of time for us, because if we find the right guy and we control the timeline, we bring him tomorrow. But it's far more complex than that. When we talk about it being an ongoing process, it's an ongoing process that we would like to solve as quick as we can. But it's not as simple as just wanting and having. There's other clubs, there is individual players, there is other clubs involved in every deal for, and ultimately we want to bring the best players, and there's not many football clubs in the world that want their best players to leave. So it becomes a complex issue, but we're continuing to work at it. The work that, David and Brad and the recruitment guys are doing is incredible work. I can't say enough about them because they continue to bring us guys like Richie Ledesma, bring James Sands back, bring Santi Rodriguez back, bring Brian Coufret in. I have so much faith that they will continue to do that. And we have 3 weeks to do it this side of this deadline, and we'll continue to work.
Great. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks,
Thanks, everyone. Good evening, everyone, or good afternoon. Welcome to today's pre-match press conference. We have midfielder Alfredo Morales. If you'd like to ask a question, please raise your hand. Christian, in the room?
Hi, Alfredo. There's been a few new midfielders join the ranks. I'm just curious how you found their integration.
I think it was very important, and it just makes us better as a team and individually as everybody as a player. And it's good. I mean, we're very happy. We have James back with us. We have Richie coming from Europe, and I'm just looking forward to train with them, to get together on the pitch, and to be successful.
Trey?
Hey, Alfredo, I'm wondering if there's any lessons you guys might have learned playing on the road against Houston that you can bring to playing on the road against New England about this group specifically.
I mean, we want to be a top team and we want to win every game. And in this league, we all know it's very difficult to be successful on the road. I think we had the chance to win the game, but it wasn't good enough. We still early in the season. There are still a lot of things we have to do better, and we want to improve. But I think we're going in the right direction, and there's the next chance on Saturday in New England, and we're going there to prepare the best we can to perform at our best. And obviously, we want to bring the 3 points back home.
Glenn?
Hey, Alfredo. Could you be a little bit more specific, though, about last week and why you think it was such a struggle, in particular, getting close to their goal?
I think in the first phase, in the first half, we had our tactics. I think we were right. We tried to play out of the back. We found the center backs play wide to the full backs, and then from there we wanted to play inside and hurt them. But I think we were not good enough technically. We lost the ball way too easy. We were just not good enough with keeping possession or retaining possession, and I think this was our main issue, in my opinion. We like I said, I think we had the setup, we had the positioning, we had the chances to play through them, but it wasn't clean enough, and this is why we didn't create as much as we wanted to.
How do you go about if something's not clean enough like that? Could you just simply use training as a device to make it better, or is it beyond that?
I mean, we have a very technical team. I think we have a very good team, especially in tight spaces, especially up front. When I look at Gabi, Thales, Santi, Mati, we have Richie now. They're all players who can find solution in 1v1 in tight spaces, 1v2 already. Also, they can find a solution and get out of it. So it's all about focus. It's all about concentration, and obviously in training is the main part of our work. We have to make sure we are consistent and focused and concentrated in training, because if we're not in the game. So this is the main focus is on practicing those things. Always keep doing the same repetitions and getting in those touches, getting in those turns and passes and everything. So but I know that all of us we can do this. We can play the way we want to play, but it's all about showing it on Saturday on game day.
Thank you.
Caroline?
Hey there, great to speak to you. I was just wondering, how are you feeling personally with your fitness and your form? Obviously, you've had some difficult frustrations with injury, but how are you feeling ahead of this season and your motivations for the new year?
My motivation is, I don't know what is enormous. I don't know if that's the best word, but I'm just so excited to be back on the pitch, to feel good, and to play. In Houston was my first start since end of August of last year. It was 7 months with the off season, obviously a long time, but I felt very good physically. I felt very good. But it's just about getting minutes. I need my rhythm back. I need my timing in certain situations, especially against the ball. I need repetitions with the ball. I mean, we have those repetitions in practice, like I mentioned before, but I think minutes in the game are they have so much more value, and I'm just trying to get back to 100%. I think I'm on a very good I'm on track, so I'm not worried. Like I said, I feel great, and we will see what the future brings. My motivation is, like always, I think I'm always very positive and very motivated, but obviously I want to be on the pitch as much as possible. I want to be a part of this team of the pitch as well, and I want to be successful with the guys, and this is what I try to achieve, and this is what I work for every single day.
Anyone else? Okay, final one, Juan Carlos.
Might have jumped back then a bit late, but how do you feel ahead of this next match? I know you already spoke about you feeling coming back to 100%, but how do you feel that the team is like ahead of the game against New England? What do you think they need to do to achieve a positive result? Thanks.
I think we just have to respect our game plan, prepare as good as possible, execute the game plan, and if we do this, I think there are not a lot of teams in this league that can prevent us from winning or from getting points. But I think our main focus should be on us, should be on our performance, our togetherness on the pitch, our structure defensively and also with the ball, very important. But if we bring all this stuff to the table on Saturday, I'm pretty sure, like I said, there are not a lot of teams who can beat us if we are on our A game.
Perfect. Great. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.